Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
We think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Smucker, a licensed cosmetologist who's been in the beauty industry for over 40 years. RadioAMB stands for American-Made Beauty, and it's where we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our segment sponsor today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com. It's a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and you can shop for your favorite American-made beauty products. My guest today has always fostered a deep love for hair and makeup, but it took a tragic, life-altering event for her to seriously pursue it. In 2010, she was diagnosed with late-stage cancer and decided to take control of her life. She shaved her head, drew on eyebrows, and rocked Chanel mascara on some doe-eyed fake lashes. Seeing other women give up really disturbed her, so she brought along some beauty staples to share, and bam, cancer was no longer ugly. In January of 2013, she took the leap to move to Los Angeles to pursue her freelance career and has loved every moment since. Today, she's 100% cancer-free and pursuing her career as a licensed cosmetologist. The story so resonates with me that I needed to bring you to meet Jessica Warburton and hear how she has evolved in the beauty industry and how her cancer has played a role in changing the direction of her life. During the rest of our show, we'll talk a little bit more about the work she's doing with one of the leading hair brands in the marketplace. And we'll talk a little bit about the work she's doing with Look Good, Feel Better. And we'll wrap up the show this afternoon by talking about what's in Jessica's future and the things that she's excited about in the industry. So welcome, Jessica. We're delighted to have you with us.
Hi, Patty. Thanks for having me here.
It's my pleasure. So, Jessica, let's start by talking a little bit about how you got started and got so excited about being involved in the beauty industry.
You know, you kind of touched on it a little bit already. I was in the chemo room, and I saw so many people just giving up on themselves, and I just didn't like seeing that. And so I, brought some things to share with some of the other ladies in there. And where I was going through chemo with women who, these are 6-7-figure women. They work for companies like Walmart, companies who distribute with Walmart, stuff like that. So I brought some stuff, and then one day a lady there had asked me to take home her wig. So I did. And I took it home. I watched some Tabitha's Salon Takeover and some YouTube videos. And I took my grandma's kitchen scissors and, I was like, how hard could this possibly be? And I chopped this lady's wig up, took it back to her, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. So it was kind of at that point, I'd made a promise to another friend of mine who also happened to be a hairdresser that I would pay, a favor that he had done for me, I would pay it forward. So going into this industry was a way of paying it forward, and I just happened to find a passion in it, too.
And so, before you had gotten sick, you had already started in the industry, but at that point, you hadn't yet found your passion around it?
Before I got sick, I was actually in the military for 8 years. So I had no idea I was going to be doing this. It was just something I really enjoyed. I liked doing makeup, and I liked doing people's hair. I liked doing my own hair, and every time I would go into the hair salon in San Diego where I lived, I was always questioning my stylist. And a lot of the times she would try to talk me out of it. I was like, I'm going to go to beauty school. What do you think? No, don't do it. Don't do it. I had a lot of people trying to talk me out of it, and I don't understand that. You know, if someone's asking questions and trying to, you know, learn about your profession and why you enjoy it, talk about why you enjoy it.
Right.
And if you don't enjoy it, maybe you need to find a new profession.
Right. Absolutely. And so you really got turned on, began to do all sorts of different type of work. Tell us about the circumstances that came together to give you that leap of faith to come here to Los Angeles.
I was in Houston at the time, and I had just finished beauty school. I was working at a salon out there that will remain nameless. I was working in a salon out there as an assistant, and I had found out that I am BRCA1 positive, so the BRCA genetic mutation. If you are BRCA1 or BRCA2 positive, you're a higher risk for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And I'd already had ovarian cancer, so I was already showing up as precancerous for breast cancer. It was a matter of time. Mm-hmm. So I took medical leave to have a preventative mastectomy with reconstruction. So if for those who may not know what that is they remove all of the breast tissue and basically rebuild your breast with implants, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And during the medical leave, I found out I was going to have to take a couple of extra weeks off because things were not going quite as planned, and the salon that I was at fired me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, completely illegal. But, you know, one, you have to have money to sue somebody. Two, mm-hmm. This is a really big industry, but it's very small, and nobody ever forgets when you burn a bridge. Mm-hmm. Everybody can see it in the background back over there. So, so I didn't want to burn any bridges either. And I'm the type of person that I really believe in when a door closes, you don't have to start looking for another door. There might be some windows.
Right.
So I climbed out the window. I took that as my opportunity to come out to L.A., come back to California where, you know, I'd left California when I got sick. And for me, I've spent most of my adult life here. And I wanted to come back, and I wanted to try doing, you know, set work, working in the studios, working in the film industry. And I did a little bit of that, but I really found my place in a salon setting. Mm-hmm. So it took a couple of years to get my footing. But once I found a good spot where, you know, the vibe was good for them, but not only good for them, it was good for me, things just kind of took off.
Right. And so currently you're working in Los Angeles and a studio. Tell us a little bit about where you're at. So
I am actually in the Butterfly Loft Salon and Spa. I don't have a studio out here. I wish I did, but I am a booth renter, so I'm an independent stylist. So for those that may not know, I basically pay for my station. I pay rent for that. So it's It's my station. It's my little business, but it's under this Butterfly Loft Salon and Spa umbrella.
Okay. And where is Butterfly Loft located?
We're in Encino, California.
In Encino. Okay. All right. Okay, great. And so at this point, how much of your time are you spending behind the chair in your studio in the loft, and how much of the time are you spending doing studio work?
I actually haven't done a lot of studio work since I started working in the salon. Studio work, while it's enjoyable and it's fun, and, you know, you meet a lot of celebrities, and it sounds really glamorous, right? But it is definitely for a certain type of person. I do not like to gig chase, and that's kind of what it is. A lot of the times you're kind of gig chasing. I like having, you know, my bread and butter, my people who come in, you know, every 4 to 6 weeks. I know that I'm going to be able to make my car payment. I know that I'm going to be able to pay my rent. You know, I don't have to worry if I want to go, you know, I don't know, go to Disneyland one weekend and spend $100. You know, I'm going to be okay. Whereas when I was doing studio work, you know, it was a lot of gig chasing, and I just didn't like that feeling of, well, I better not spend anything because I may not be able to get, you know, work for another month or two. So for me, the salon is way better.
Well, and, you know, it's very interesting because everyone always talks about this whole idea of being able to develop a career as a studio artist and things like that. But it really does take a lot of patience and perseverance to be able to make that kind of work be profitable for most hairdressers.
Right.
And so did you find when you came here to LA, have you worked primarily on your own for studio work, or have you found any success in working with any of the agencies?
I did work as an assistant for an agency for a little while, and it just, you know, kind of like I said, like it was just too few far in between. And, you know, they kept bringing on new artists and signing these new people while the rest of us who were, you know, there had been there and had been putting in the effort and, you know, had been taking on these free jobs and eating ramen for dinner and lunch and breakfast. You know, I was like, forget it, man. Like, you're going to bring on all these new artists when you have people who are beating down your door to want to sign. I just didn't want that lifestyle for myself anymore. And
right.
I felt like I also wanted to grow as an artist, and I think the things that I wanted to do, you know, after coming out here and, you know, getting my foot in that door doing set work and seeing what it's really like and, you know, not having someone there to tell me, hey, this is going to suck in the beginning. It's just horrible. Not having someone to tell me that and learning it the hard way, it's definitely something now that when someone asks me about it, I'm like, okay, look, here's the nitty-gritty of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about it. Here's the goods and here's the bads. You decide if that works for you. For me, it did not work. I like having my days off and going on a vacation once in a while, and you can't do that with a studio, with the set work, you know, because if you tell them no for a job, they may not ever call you again.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the reality, and I love that you're being really transparent about that, because I think that so many people have this false romantic vision of what that looks like, but it really is definitely that hard work and that perseverance, and for some people it's that uncertainty just is nerve-wracking. So what are some of the other things that you do? I know that you really have a wonderful portfolio. How do you keep yourself inspired and educated?
Inspired is something for me that comes and goes. You know, I think every hairdresser sometimes falls into a little bit of a funk once in a while. You know, I often have described it as sometimes you have to go into the dark places of your mind to find the beautiful places again. So for me, you know, the darkest place in my life was when I was sick. And so a lot of the times when I'm looking to feel more inspiration, I'll just take myself back to that and like, okay, when I felt like this, what made me happy? And a lot of the times it was things like, you know, Disney. I'm a hardcore Disney fan. I think people who say that they hate Disneyland, they need to have a really good reason for it, not just, well, their lines are long. And I'm like, that is so right. I can't trust you if you tell me that you don't have a good time at Disneyland.
The happiest place on earth, how could that be?
Yeah, I just don't understand that. But, you know, Disney, Tim Burton films come to mind a lot. You know, I really enjoy things that, you know, are artistic and maybe even a little macabre, a little bit darker than what most people would think. You know, I feel like, you know, something, I work with the Mattrix team, and something they've taught us is to have a clean eye, because with the clean eye, you can foster more creativity. And I swear that Tim Burton must have the cleanest eye on the face of the planet in order to create such beautiful messes. You know, if you look at his work, like, for example, if you look at The Nightmare Before Christmas and you look at Jack Skellington's pinstripe suit, his stripes are asymmetrically symmetrical. How is that even possible? Those don't even go together, but they do. He makes it work, you know. So I think about things like that, and I'm like, okay, I want to incorporate something like that into my work, and then I find a hair model. You know, a lot of the vibrant colors that you see on my page, on my Instagram page in particular, a lot of them are hair models. I did that for free. You know, and some of them a lot of them are going through some kind of medical issue, whether it's, or something with their life, whether it's domestic abuse. Right now I'm doing a lot of cancer survivors. I have a lady sending me a wig this week to, create for her friend who is currently going through chemotherapy. It's stuff like that. And when I can combine the things that inspire me with the passion to help other people, it keeps me going.
That's great. And what a great way to keep those juices going, not only to know how to manage yourself in terms of your emotion, but also how to be able to take care of others and to be able to feed them. When you're dealing with people who are going through these difficult things, you're a young person. How do you guide them? Do you find that they lean on you for emotional support as well as helping them with their looks?
I think so, and I think they come to me because I can actually honestly say that I understand what they're going through. When you're sick, when you have something like a terminal disease like cancer, people are always like, yeah, I understand, you don't feel good, da-da-da. No, you don't.
Right.
You have no idea what this is like unless you've had cancer. And I think a lot of the times, I get these women and girls that come to me simply because they can talk to me, and I totally understand where they're coming from. I get it. And I can honestly say that. It's about, you'll hear a lot in the industry, people will say people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I firmly believe that, especially after building the clientele and seeing the types of things that my clientele go through. Right now I have a client who was just diagnosed with scarring alopecia. And she comes to me in tears sometimes, and she doesn't want to shampoo her hair, and I'm sitting there like, my mind is like, okay, I get this. I totally understand what she's going through right now. How can I help her feel better? What can I do as a hairdresser? And I think as hairdressers, we're in an industry where we get to touch people. And I don't mean like emotionally. We physically get to touch people. If you think about it, if you're walking down the street and somebody reaches in and touches your head, you're probably going to turn around swinging and be like, what are you doing? Don't touch me, right? Right? I mean, that would be my first instinct. If somebody touching my head, I'm probably going to turn around and, try to stalk them,
Right, exactly. And people give us permission to come into that sacred space.
Yeah, you enter someone's personal space, and, it's the same reason that, immediately after a baby is born, they hand it straight to the mother so that the mother can hug the child. It's an intimate connection.
Right.
And when you can add on top of that, dude, I totally get what you're going through right now. Let me tell you what I did to fix it. And actually give bona fide advice and have the credentials to back up that advice. It takes things to a whole new level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and dealing, though, with these difficult things, I mean, you've had a double education. It's been the technical skills to be able to work as a hairdresser, the life skills in terms of going through your own trauma and your own life experience. Are there other resources that you've called upon to help improve and increase your education?
Oh, absolutely. I can't even tell you how much money I've spent going to classes. The butterfly loft here, I don't know if they're doing them anymore, but they called it the Butterfly Circus, and it was, a bunch of educators would come in, and, you would buy this ticket and watch several educators give 30-minute lessons in education on hair. I've done the best I can to network with people so that, I get invited to their education events before anybody else. And I want to know when certain people are teaching because I know that their classes are worth every penny. And I firmly believe that, people can come and they can take a lot from you, right? They can take anything they want from you, but they can't take your education. They can never take that away from you. There's no way possible for them to take your education away. And we're also in an industry where it changes constantly. And right now, digital is so huge. And I started doing, paying attention and taking digital classes and, building an Instagram following, utilizing Facebook. And that's how I was able to build a clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of just relying on, these old school techniques of, go hand out flyers, talk to people in elevators, whatever. Instagram and social media has helped me do that without actually having to kind of leave my shell, so to speak.
And is that more comfortable? Is that part of it, that it's a little easier to do it in a digital format as compared to the old-fashioned way?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you look at the Starbucks Instagram account, for example, okay, they have like 4 million followers.
Right.
That's 4 million sets of eyes who are going to look at. That's 8 million eyeballs, if you think of it like that, right? So I think of it like this: like my Instagram, I think I'm at about 33,000 or 32,000 followers. That's 60,000 pairs of eyeballs on me, looking at my work, and then maybe resharing my work, tagging someone saying, look, you're in LA, go to her.
Right.
And it really does drive your business, and it's helped drive mine a whole lot.
That's great. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Jessica Warburton about her journey and her work specifically with Mattrix and how that's helped her to expand her education as well. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is Patty Smucker, your host on RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm here with Jessica Warburton, a cosmetologist who has become really passionate about the industry after having experienced her own personal life trauma dealing with cancer at a very early age. Jessica, I know that one of the things that you've done in your career is become an educator with Mattrix. Tell us a little bit about who Mattrix is and what does that mean to be an educator with them?
Mattrix is quickly becoming a huge part of my life I kind of found them, I stumbled onto them because of one of the girls that I work with. I was looking for, a more budget-friendly product line, particularly for color, but that also had much more staying power than the line that I was previously using for, toning purposes or glossing purposes, things like that. And so a fellow stylist recommended, Color Sync she's like, try the Color Sync from Mattrix, you're going to love it. So I went and bought a few tubes, and just fell in love with the product. And I have always really looked up to Tabitha Coffee. So when I found out that Tabitha Coffee was with Mattrix, I was sold. I was like, if it's good enough for Tabitha, it's definitely good enough for me, because she's hardcore. I think she's one of the best business minds in this industry. She'll tell you like it is, and I appreciate that out of, anybody really is, be real with me. And I think she's the realest person in the industry right now. So when I went to a hair show this past January in Long Beach, I had bought a ticket for her class. She was doing a little stage presentation on, just social media and salon business ideas. And I got invited to a VIP party with Mattrix. And I started talking to some of the people there, and I'd wanted to get into the education circuit. I just hadn't found a brand that I really thought fit, for both me and for the brand. And when I talked with the Mattrix regional director and their, artistic directors and just everybody there, I felt like I'd found a home, if that makes any kind of sense. The community that Mattrix has is really awesome. And what they provide for their artists and their educators and their team is fantastic. They're teaching us not only how to use their products properly, but they also teach us how to teach. Right. And how to present things and how to make people feel comfortable, how to connect if you're not good at connecting with other people, which I think I'm pretty good at that, but, there's always room for improvement. They teach you how to dress, professionally. And I notice, when we go to different hair shows, I look around at a lot of the booths, and one of the things that stands out in my mind is, I can tell a Mattrix artist when they walk by because they look professional. They look like a high-end hairdresser, in my mind, should look.
And do you think, and it's interesting that's one of the things that you really value about the education, because we're a little bit different in age, and I've always felt like that in our industry is really important, and I felt like it doesn't seem like it as important to people. Why do you feel like it is important that the attire is part of creating that message and communicating that you're professional?
I was in the military for 8 years, so I definitely have a little bit more structure in my mindset than a lot of people do. Probably too much structure, to be honest. And I just know that hairdressers have a bad rap. There's this stigma that if you're a hairdresser, you're probably flaky, or you're not on time, you're not professional, you probably wear, flip-flops to, you know what I mean? There's just a stigma. And I think, there's a lot of great companies trying really hard to break that stigma. And there's a reason we as hairdressers have to have a license to do what we do. And if I go into a doctor's office, or if I go into a bank, or if I go into, a lawyer's office, and I see someone in there sitting at their front desk that looks like they should be at a drum circle on Venice Beach on a Saturday afternoon, I'm not going to take them seriously. And that's coming from someone who probably looks like she should be at the drum circle at Venice Beach on Saturday afternoon. I'm covered in tattoos. I have a mohawk, but I wear all black. And I've actually been in situations when I was assisting, when I first moved to California, or back to LA, I guess. I was in a salon assisting, and most of the hairdressers, it was a Sunday afternoon, and all the hairdressers, it was me and one other person there at the time because everybody was on a lunch break. And a guy came in and wanted a haircut, but there was nobody there to available to take anybody. And he was like, well, what about that girl standing over there? I want her to cut my hair because she looks like a hairdresser. And I was wearing all black. I wasn't wearing, pants that have a crotch that, those like draggy.
Right,
I don't know how to describe them. Those pants that have like the drop crotch.
Yes,
They're really comfortable, but they kind of don't look the best. I wasn't wearing like anything crazy like that. I had on nice black pants, a nice blouse. My hair I still had a mohawk, and I think it was hot pink at the time. And my tattoos were showing. I have over 200 hours of tattoo work. So, but I think if you dress right, it says a lot. And I know that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good hairdresser, but that's the start. You have to create a foundation for yourself, and you have to, societal standards are silly sometimes, but they're still there. And, first impressions are a lot. When I came to the Butterfly Loft to apply as a stylist here, I looked good when I walked in there. I wore a suit. And you don't have to go and spend a ton of money on a suit. You can get them at Ross.
Right.
Or, Marshall's. There's lots of places that sell them. I paid under $50 for my suit. And I only have one. I don't have a bunch of them, But I just feel like you want a professional image. Yeah, throw in your cool stuff when you can, but you kind of got to earn that right. If you're too funky in the beginning, you're going to scare off your clients. You're going to scare off potential employers. You're going to scare off opportunity. And you don't want to scare off the opportunity.
Right. And that I think is really the essence of the power of your message, and that is that you work so hard. You've gone through all this education. You put yourself in a position where you have an opportunity to take a next step. Being able to wear the right costume, because that's really all it is that costume that communicates that, hey, I'm ready to be here with my A game. I'm ready to show up and do the very best job that I can. And having clothes that don't communicate that, or throwing in something that may not be receptive or received well in that particular environment, it's just one more obstacle that you're putting in front of yourself. So I love that that environment in Mattrix has been able to give you some of that foundation to be able to move you in the direction that you want to go. As we wrap up this section, is there a particular one lesson that you think has been the most powerful that you've gotten from being involved with Mattrix?
I think one of the best lessons that I've gotten from Mattrix is that, they do foster a community, and nobody in Mattrix is my competition. Mm-hmm. They're my community. Uh-huh. And I think we as hairdressers get so focused on what is our competition doing that we forget that we're a community. And we need to stay a community. It's the reality of it is I'm not going to take your clients if you tell me a formula that you use, because I don't have your touch. Right. If I don't know, if Robert Cromings, for example, like that guy, talking in costumes, he could tell me all day how to do a haircut by sitting a hat on somebody's head and cutting around the brim of a hat. And if you've ever seen him, he actually does that. Right. But that doesn't mean that I can actually do it the way he did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you always have a touch. We're not competition. We're a community. And I think that's important.
Yeah, it's a great point. So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other exciting things that Jessica's doing. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call EarthChannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Hi, this is Patty Smucker, your host here at RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm here with Jessica Warburton, who is a stylist and an educator with the Mattrix organization, and we've been talking about her experience developing her expertise as a hairstylist and growing through her own personal experience being a cancer survivor. Jessica, tell us a little bit about you got involved with an organization called Look Good, Feel Better. Tell us a little bit about who they are and how they played a role in your recovery.
Look Good, Feel Better is an organization that was created. I could be joking here, but I'm pretty sure it was created by a couple of ladies who, started out by going into chemotherapy rooms or going to chemo patients and just kind of showing them how to put on makeup and how to tie headscarves, how to style their wigs and things like that. And it had a pretty big impact on me. They came into my hospital room when I was in the hospital. I was bedridden for 8 weeks straight. And they came in and, just put makeup on my face, and I felt better about myself. I haven't been able to get involved with that as much in LA because I've had a hard time getting in contact with the chapters out here, but I did do some stuff with them in Houston. And as a survivor myself, it was just something that I really appreciated because, and I've had people say, oh, you're so vain. Well, whatever. You know what? It's people identify themselves a lot by how we look. And especially I can't say about how men feel because I'm not a man and I don't identify as a man. So, but I know as a woman, I can say, and I think I speak for a lot of us when I say, a huge part of our identity is our hair. That's why women with gray hair get it colored. We want to look a certain way, and it's not because I want, Joe Schmo across the street to think I look good. It's because it makes me feel good. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I want to feel like I look good. And if that's what does it for me, then that's my business, But I wanted to be able to help other women in my situation. And so that's why I got involved with the organization when I did.
Right. And I know for myself, having gone through the cancer as well, when I originally was diagnosed, I only had a mastectomy on one side, and I did not have a reconstructive surgery. So it was probably a good 18 months after my chemotherapy was completed, and I had a breast on one side and nothing on the other side. And every time I looked in the mirror, even though I felt wonderful, I had gone completely through the chemotherapy and all the drugs were out of my system, I looked in the mirror, and that image in the mirror told me I was still sick. So it was so powerful, what that messaging that comes back to us from that mirror, and I would suspect that this is a lot of what you hear from clients that you deal with in these kind of settings.
Exactly. And people treat you like you're going to die, and that's the worst feeling I think I've ever, felt outside of basically having to shave my head, which I've also described as, it's very dehumanizing. If you look in through history, Nazis forced concentration camp individuals. I don't want to say just Jewish people, because a lot of people were shoved into concentration. They forced them to shave their heads. Why? Because it dehumanizes them. So, you look in there, and I've had people, I'm currently actually in the process of tattooing over all of my scars, because I have a 14-inch scar down my abdomen from my sternum down to the pelvic bone, and then I have mastectomy scarring on both sides. And I've had people be like, why are you doing that? Those are your warrior wounds. Those are your warrior badges, blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, I'm doing it because I want to. It's not for anybody else. Second of all, you're not the one who has to look in the mirror every single day and see these scars and be reminded of how sick you were and the mental trauma that you had to deal with. And the mental trauma you had to deal with based on the way other people treated you, or anything like that. I see those scars, and all I can think is, man, when is it going to come back? When is that beast going to come back and bite me again? And am I going to be ready for it? Because last time I wasn't ready. Now I'm ready. I got my eyes on you, you beast.
I think we share this common view that a lot of the recovery is the messages that we have between our two ears. So being able to proactively address that image in the mirror is as much a part of the healing process as the surgeries or the drugs or the physical therapy or anything else that you go through. That is healing medicine as well. So I love the idea that you are making some artistic choices about what you're doing with your scars. I think it's a really powerful journey in the healing process for you. I can tell you that being a 26-year survivor of cancer, that every year that question will always come up, and every year it gets a little bit easier and easier to know that whatever it is that the next step in the journey, you will be ready for it, and every day you're developing those tools that's going to help you be more effective at managing whatever life throws your way. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And with the other organization that I wanted to mention to you as well is an organization called Eyes on Cancer. And Jean Bra and her husband have developed that organization, which specifically trains licensed professionals how to find and detect the early signs of cancer, skin cancers particularly, because the statistics are pretty alarming. So if you continue to not connect with the local Look Good, Feel Better group here, you might want to check out on American Made Beauty Eyes on Cancer, because that's another great organization to be able to get your connections with. So as you move forward, have you been able to have any kind of connection with Mattrix and some of the work that you've done in helping patients with cancer issues?
I've kind of got some things in the works with that. There is a guy with the Mattrix team. His name's Todd. He has an organization called Love Out Lavender.
Okay.
And what they do is they do fundraisers. I don't know a whole lot about it yet. I'm still kind of in that learning phase, because we're always learning, right?
Right.
But I know that he does, these photo shoots and these avant-garde looks, and or sometimes it's not an avant-garde look. It's just different things, and they're all geared towards fundraising for cancer research. So him and I have talked a little bit at some of the events that we've been at together about collaborating. So I'm hoping I'm headed to Austin this weekend for the Behind the Chairs show there. So I'm hoping he's going to be there so I could talk to him a little more about that. And kind of just see where that goes. And there's some other things I have in the works, but I can't really talk about those just yet.
Okay. All right. Well, and that's really the key, is just continuously showing up, networking, and having those relationships because those are the pieces that really make it all come together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what lies ahead for Jessica and some of the exciting ideas and projects that she's working on moving forward. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap state. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Hey, thanks for staying with us. This is Patty Smucker with RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm here with Jessica Warburton, cosmetologist who has really become passionate about the industry, is an educator with the Mattrix Corporation, and has, through her own survival of cancer, become very astute at working with people who are going through that process. Jessica, I know that you've been using digital tools to really help build your business. Let's talk a little bit more about that. How did that come about, and can you give us a couple of secrets that you've developed along the way to be able to build your following?
The Instagram thing, if I'm going to be really transparent, it's something I almost wish I didn't have to do. Because it's kind of like a part-time job. It really is. Mm-hmm. But using that, when I started working at the salon I'm at now, the owners were really big into that, and they gave a lot of us, classes, and I really believe that if you're given a toolbox, right, and it has the right tools in it, use them. Right. You got it for free. Use them. Build something with it. So I was given this little toolbox. They call it Instagram, right? I was given this free little toolbox on my phone called Instagram, and then my salon owners, they gave me another little toolbox of that has like a bunch of little nuggets of stuff in it, and I combined the two, and it propelled everything for me. I think a lot of hairdressers, if you have your set clientele, then that's great. One of the things they have taught us in Mattrix is that this is an industry where, the longer you're in it, the less you make. And that's because, people are more loyal to their hairdressers than they are their spouses. You know what I mean?
Right.
As bad as that sounds, I firmly believe that.
But let me go back to that statement. The longer you're in it, the less you make.
Yeah. So statistically, the longer you're in it, the less you make. Hairdressers, we're sensitive people, and we don't like to raise our prices. Or as you have this loyal following that you grow up with and you grow old with, and then they become they're coming in the walkers, and then they don't come in anymore. So how do you get new clients? Well, digital is huge, and that's how you can get new clients. If you I don't care how long you've been in the industry. I've been in the industry for maybe 5 or 6 years now, and I built a pretty good clientele within 3 years. 3 years. That's all it took.
Which is in the life expectancy of a hairdresser, it's really unheard of. I mean, it's very few people that have the capacity in less than 3 years to be able to build a full-time clientele. So that is it's quite remarkable.
Exactly, and I did a lot of it through social media. I've utilized Yelp, I've utilized Facebook, and I've utilized Instagram. I can't do everything because there's just so much. But I think the two biggest were Yelp and Instagram. I go onto the salon Yelp and I add all my pictures in there, and I put, this is a little nugget that everybody can, kind of stick in their back pocket. I go onto the salon Instagram, like I said, I post my pictures. It'll give you a little area where you can put in a caption, and I say hair by Jessica Warburton, Instagram hair hunter. So right there, when they're looking at that picture, I've done two things. I've placed it into my mind their minds that when they call the salon, they need to request Jessica Warburton. And I've also put it into their head that, maybe I should go look at her Instagram and check out more of her work. Right. And usually they're going to click follow, most of the time. So
how many other hairdressers that work at that location are doing that same kind of digital marketing?
Oh, a lot of them. There's a lot of us here doing that. There's several hairdressers here who have, book clientele strictly through Instagram. They don't even need Yelp or Facebook. Everything just goes through their Instagram. I've gotten sponsorships. I've gotten it's my portfolio now. And I don't know, I can't speak for, salons in other parts of the country or in other cities, but I know in LA, if I go into, like, for example, I know some salon owners in, like, the Beverly Hills area, and one of the first things they're going to ask, if you go in there, they don't even look at your resume anymore. Show me your Instagram. So you have a free portfolio when in the past you used to have to pay to have a book made. Show me your book, and you would pull out this big, heavy book full of your pictures that you had to have made, right? No, now they say, show me your Instagram, and you pull out your phone, and you have this free little toolbox right there that you can build everything you need in. That's another little – oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, tell me another little tool.
Another tool in that Instagram toolbox is, your hashtag. I like to separate out my hashtags a little bit. So I'll tag, and I like to base it on, I'll tag 3 really huge tags. So like, let's take Modern Salon, for example. They have over 1 million hashtags, right? Over 1 million people have hashtagged Modern Salon. So I put that in. I'll put in American Salon. They have a lot of hashtags too. And then I localize it as well. So if I look at my Instagram following, I have a business Instagram page so that I can see and view my insights. I want to say 80% of my followers are located in Los Angeles, and that's what I need. I need followers that are in LA. Because a follower that is in Taiwan or Russia or Tehran or India, and I say those things because I know individuals in the industry who have a lot of followers in those areas, they do me no good. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. Is that following translating into butts in your chair? Is that a head in my chair?
Right. And regardless of what your business is, is that following translating into a revenue-producing activity that is what you're trying to do? Right. Initially, when I started my Instagram, I really wanted to get into education because, I do want to give back. And, because I feel like I've been given so much, I want to pay that forward. So initially it was to get into the education circuit. And now that I've done that, I kind of had to, redefine my own definition of success. And I think if you're doing the right things, if you're taking the right steps, you're going to do that several times in your life because success is subjective, okay? And I like the fact that, when I look back at the steps and the staircase that I created, it's all nice, smooth stone marble. It's not made of the bones of people I stepped on to get here.
Right. And I think that says a lot, and I'm not trying to brag about that. My point in saying that is be good to people because they'll give back to you if you give to them. With the Instagram thing, it completely goes back to, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you're able to connect with someone on a human level, it'll translate into business for you. People are going to want to, they're going to want to pay you for your services. And well, with that, if you're worth it, charge it.
Yeah, and you say it so well. People don't buy, what you do. They buy why you do it, and you have this passionate heart of service. And it's just been a delight to have an opportunity to get to know you a little bit today. Thanks for taking the time to share your story.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Great. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for listening to Radio AMB, and join us next week when my guest host, Dean White, will be back with the AMB web designer who will be sharing some of their insights and some new things that are happening in beauty. Send us your comments and questions to request@AmericanMadeBeauty. Thanks for listening to Radio AMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.